Ah, yes, ladies and gentlemen, Madam Secretary is in the news again, and the collective reaction has been either a laugh or a weary sigh of "Oh God, not this creature again." Pretty sure that's most people's reaction when they see the thumbnail. I joked before that Kamala Harris is the wicked wench of the White House. Said that in my first video, actually. Well, Clinton then is the wicked wench of the West because Kamala Harris is just the discount version of her, same mannerisms and everything, just even more dislikable, which is quite the impressive feat. The student has surpassed the master in at least one regard. But yes, Clinton is the plagued zombie of politics, the one that simply won't go away. Even when this idea was floated in 2020, her own advisor said, no, stop this. It is over. You are not electable. You need to let this dream die. She's got the attitude of the quintessential spoiled brat. But Clinton does this thing where she goes off and tries to reinvent herself, or at least has done so in the last couple of years. 2016 hit her like a freight train. It was the closest she was ever going to get to the White House, and she's just going to have to live with the fact that she will never ever be president, and you can bet that still eats at her, well, whatever she has instead of a soul that powers her. But post 2016, she went off into the woods to rediscover herself to get away from politics. I think she just wanted to get drunk in peace because she's a raging alcoholic. There was a rumor going around in 2016. The reason why she didn't give a concession speech on election night is because she was sauced off her face, dousing herself in daiquiris or vodka or whatever takes the pain away from the realization that she will never ever step foot in the White House again, allegedly. So who knows? But with Clinton, her reinvention is not like a David Bowie reinvention that keeps up with the times. No, a political reinvention is her poking her head into the scene to read the reaction of the room, which does not exactly exude a positive reaction when it comes to Madam Secretary, which leads into her dislikability. She does not have the warmth of a human being, probably because she isn't one. There's nothing about her that's relatable or even likable. I imagine there's a few who lie awake at night crying that she didn't win in 2016. She herself is probably among them. But if you've ever seen old movies or played any games that set during an era where there was more racial tension, and you have that old woman who does the pearl clutching thing, who protects her purse when someone's black within an earshot of her, as she scoffs and tuts at everything she deems lesser than her. That's Hillary Clinton. She gives off those kind of vibes. And when she's anywhere near any political apparatus, be it in person or an event, the fake smile, the slow nod, she reeks of that phony put on for the camera's personality, and people can see it. She's notorious for it. She will go to a different state, put on a different accent around black people. It'll be the hot sauce debacle when she was asked, is she pandering? She replied, is it working? Things like that makes it appear like she's a soulless creature. She is, and she's really bad at hiding it. There's simply nothing about her that shows she cares about anything. She doesn't have any policy positions that are admirable or any issues that she actually cares about. Hell, the 2016 election slogan was essentially hashtag my vagina, basket of deplorables, and anyone who is critical of her is sexist. That's not a winning ticket, contrary to the delusional world of the lefties who think, well, all previous winning presidents, with the exception of Obama because of his skin color was elevated to the status of an elitist messiah, because they were white and male, that anyone who is not that is the reason they don't like her, and not for the reasons I just mentioned. Normal people go, well, they're all white and male, so there must be something else that distinguishes them from each other, but no, apparently that requires too much thinking. She is just a psychopath, a power-hungry psychopath with no feelings for anyone or anything. It's all about her. She comes off as completely self-serving. This is one of her biggest problems. She doesn't present herself with a legitimate reason of why she wants to be president, other than because I want to be. In all honesty, I don't think she actually gives a damn about either Chelsea or Bill for that matter. She will, with a smile, throw both of them off a cliff with ease if she could be president. I recall a story I think it was by a former Secret Service agent who was in an elevator with Bill and Hillary, who were having this brutal scream fest of an argument. And what was waiting for them behind the elevator door was a press screening or something. And as soon as the elevator door opened, she was able to switch instantly, just like that, to camera Hillary. And you realize that, oh, this is who she really is. She is a totally deranged psychopath behind closed doors, and America can breathe a huge sigh of relief and thank its lucky stars that it was Trump who won and not her, because she absolutely does not have the temperament to be president. This is why Biden was able to, quote-unquote, win. It's also why the press are scrambling like drunken midgets to emulate 2020 shenanigans in the upcoming midterms. Because at this point, the press is essentially a de facto arm of the US government, which explains why it is the least trusted press in the world. And if they can't pull off a 2020-style repeat, they're actually screwed. Hell, there's already articles saying that Republicans, if they can stay the course, can emulate the greatest midterm landslide since the Depression. That was almost 100 years ago. But the press around 2018, 2019 said, look, we need someone who has less political baggage than Hillary, who isn't as hated, and is more disarming. So they chose Biden because he's senile and stupid, and on face value, he comes across as a harmless doofus. The public are fickle. They don't know that Biden is corrupt as hell. He was just the gaffe master that stood alongside Obama. Now, he may be a Starbucks coffee cup to the kneecap away from, face-planting himself out of the White House, but the senile stupidity also makes him highly susceptible to being influenced by an army of ideologues around him, and easy to completely isolate from the real world and make him just walk away from the press. And no, I don't think this is some grand 4D chess move to completely destroy the Democratic brand so that Hillary, of all people, can somehow swoop in on a black horse and save the day, partly because she is the reason why the brand went to shit in the first place. I don't think you can rescue the brand of stupidity and corruption with calculated malice and more corruption. That's not exactly a good strategy. Her ego doesn't exactly live in the real world. But what's interesting is what her name signals, just by being brought up in the press. The Democrats, when did Clinton last serve in politics? As Secretary of State under Obama, so 2012, 10 years ago. So 2024 would be 12 years. There's been no sort of sane breakout rock stars that have emerged from the Democrats in over 10 years. You've got Bernie and AOC, but that's old and stupid and young and stupid. They're not electable in a general. It was supposed to be Kamala. She was the heir apparent until Tulsi Gabbard knocked her career out of the sky in one shot. And then she became the affirmative action pick, even though she dropped out of the primaries before her own state of California even voted. So it's clear she does not have the chops to be a competent politician at all. On the plus side, if you have a more misogynistic streak and tendencies, you can point to her as the perfect caricature and show, this is why you don't put women in positions of power. It goes against the natural order. You take men away from where they are supposed to be. Leadership roles. This is what men are built for. Look at history. The more feminine your power structure becomes, the more towards authoritarianism you will march. I don't care if someone says that's sexist. Argue with history and biology, people. And now the White House is desperately trying to get rid of her. She was recently asked about a Biden-Cheney ticket in 2024, which is the most insanely stupid idea I have ever heard. You're just taking the nexus point of establishment corruption from either side and then throwing them together as if the public is somehow going to go for that. There's no wonder the corporate press has trouble reaching people. It's because they don't live on planet Earth. But the reaction from her, just this pent-up passive aggressiveness in her voice, masking this raging lava that lurks underneath. Oh, just all of that just straight into my veins, please. It's glorious watching them all collapse. So in the midst of all of this, to see Clinton resurface, Clinton, the twice-failed candidate, potentially making a third run of it, third time's the charm only works, it's only a viable option if you come back better and you don't evoke sighs and snarls just with the mere mention of your name. And that's all for today. Until next time.